What's up, guys? You've kind of already seen this workout more or less in some recent videos when I've been working out outside, but I really wanted to make a video just kind of highlighting this style of working out because I think it really showcases some other potential benefits of these machines that we don't cover nearly as much, specifically talking about how these total gyms or sliding bench trainers are just really great and ideal for these summer or outdoor workouts, and how they're also really good key pieces of equipment to incorporate for your high intensity interval training workouts or HIIT workouts. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking that I put more of these HIIT workouts out on the channel, and I'll definitely kind of do that. I think I've kind of been doing that actually more or less in some past workouts and just kind of recommendations in general. I know everyone has different interpretations of what's considered a HIIT workout or not. Generally, it's just something where you're kind of cycling through different exercises at a relatively faster pace with no rest. Maybe you got some exercise parameters of like doing something within a certain number of repetitions or time or like rounds. So we'll see that a little bit here. But regardless, I've been kind of wanting to shift back into my old school kind of, I call it kind of primitive style of working out, where I just kind of have a bunch of different things. Definitely in this case, it's my total gym as my core. That has been my core for these last few years, and I think that's where actually a total gym or sliding bench trainer really shines and actually doing these workouts. So I'm going to do a lot more of that coming up. So if you guys do want to see or know more about that kind of style of training, let me know, and I'll get more of this type of information or workouts out to you guys. As you guys can see, I'll be incorporating some optional pieces of equipment, so it's definitely not required. If you guys do want to check it out and or support the channel, I'll put links down below in the description box with pretty much everything that I'm using here in this workout. I'll also put some timestamps if you guys do want to jump around a certain section or kind of revisit this video later on. As always though, if you guys do find this video helpful, please consider liking, subscribing, and definitely sharing this content. Always helpful and always appreciate you guys. Now, what's great about this workout, and I'd say workouts in general using a sliding bench trainer, is first one, it's simple. Essentially all you really need is a sliding bench trainer. But you can throw in some, incorporate some other stuff if you guys want to. It's definitely effective. You can kind of cover all your bases, work your whole body, and do so in a really good way, in my opinion. It keeps you kind of moving and also without kind of overstressing a certain area. So you can kind of do an exercise, and also while you're kind of like needing a rest in that body part, you immediately jump to another body part. So you're constantly kind of changing things up and switching things up, getting your body working, obviously working the aerobic system as well, but still not feeling like you're overstressing a certain area. Kind of like or I shouldn't say overtraining, but like kind of going to failure in a certain area. This workout specifically, you definitely can tailor it in a number of different ways, simply just by manipulating the time using this like AMRAP method we're going to be incorporating, and that's just doing basically saying as many reps as possible. I'll talk about that in a second. You can adjust the rep range if you guys like. You can even kind of switch in and out the exercises, or like kind of degress or progress an exercise from round to round. And honestly, if you really wanted to with this workout, and even some other past videos I've talked about, when you kind of get some exercises together, you could really do this workout like a few times a week, and this could be like your staple sliding bench training workout that you're going to do like I said, 3 times a week, and just you can manipulate a little bit from session to session. So great way to get in kind of really easy quality workouts and do so in a really simplistic manner. All right, so here's the workout, which you guys can find down below in the description box, and I might even post this on the website on slidingbenchtrainer.com. It's really new, so I'm still working the kinks out, but if you guys want to check it out, you can do that. We're going to be using 7 simple bread and butter exercises for 20 repetitions each. I almost kind of put 25. You even can do 15. That'd be a nice little sweet spot, but I think 20 is a good number. Don't feel like you have to bust out. I'll mention this later. Don't feel like you have to like force out 20 if you can't do it. If you need to take little kind of mini breaks, which I did, to kind of really get good quality reps in, definitely encourage that, but 20 reps each. We're going to be using that AMRAP method, basically saying we're going to do as many rounds as possible. Now, this is totally up to you. You can kind of, the beauty of this is that you can kind of tailor this to the time you have available. You can do as many rounds as you guys kind of want, just kind of how you feel like it. So some people set the workouts like, well, you got to do 3 or 5 or 4 rounds. In my opinion, I like to kind of be flexible. At the end of this video, if you guys want to jump to the end, I'll let you guys know what I kind of got to. So it's up to you. If you guys want to set a certain number and you want to finish that for a certain number of time, you guys can do that. But I like to just kind of say, I got this. Here's the 7 exercises. Here's the rep range. And I'm just going to do as many reps as I feel like I can kind of adequately fit in my schedule. I think that's the best way to kind of do this. All right, so here's the list of 7 exercises I included for this workout. I'll get into each one specifically and talk about some little things to kind of focus on and consider in each exercise. But here's the 7 things. We're going to be doing you can call it a decline push-up if you want to, or elevated push-up, however you're looking at it. But I'm going to have my feet elevated in the total gym, doing elevated push-ups, and then I'll be doing some of these kind of like they're basically pullovers, but I do 2 different pullovers. I go kind of out to this side like in a swimming motion. I've talked about that. So some face down prone pullovers. Then I'll do some just really basic traditional sit-ups using my weight vest as like an anchor point. I'll be doing some sort of curl. I'll change this up a little bit, but some sort of bicep curl for 20 repetitions. Then I'll transition into some tricep extensions. Again, I kind of switch this up a little bit as we kind of progress to different rounds. Just going into some rows, and then finally we'll do some body weight squats for 20 repetitions. All right, first with these decline push-ups, I thought these might be the hardest for most people. Again, choose a decline ideally if you guys can. I shot for 20. I know for a lot of people this could be hard. I feel like I can do a good high number of push-ups if I really wanted to, but the point is I'm focusing on kind of getting quality or getting that tension, and not just this exercise, but other exercises as well. So if you have to degress, if you have to take little breaks, definitely do that. If you guys got some other apparatuses, like I got these perfect push-ups, that would be good. If you guys got, like I'm actually throwing, and you can see it off to the side there, I got the Iron Chest Master. I incorporate that a little bit. That definitely made some things harder, but whatever you got to do, just kind of shoot for 20 repetitions. But again, you always can go down to your knees and just even do regular push-ups. That's always an option as well. After this, we're going into those pullovers, and I mentioned other videos, I almost kind of prefer these over like the traditional total gym pull-ups, just because I feel like they really engage the lats in a really unique, good way. You guys can see that I kind of am going to be using the my weight vest a lot throughout this video. So I've always said the weight vests are really good, especially if you got these like kind of cheaper total gyms or something where you can't throw in some external weight, or an easy way to kind of make external weight kind of easier to kind of travel around with. I just chucked it over the sliding bench train. I'll do that a lot. I didn't mention this, but I actually got the tower height at 3/4 of the way high. That's always like my go-to idea, like most like requested kind of like tower height that I kind of put it to. On my total gym fit, it would be like level 10. On this one, it's again 3/4 of the way high. And just doing these lateral pullovers where I'm essentially, I should say lateral pull downs, where I'm basically kind of facing down. You can get a lot of different angles where I'm really trying to engage, again, feeling that stretch in the lats, really kind of upping, then coming down almost like in a Y, almost like a swimming motion. I'm kind of digging in sideways. Towards the end, or maybe even here a little bit, if I start to get kind of fatigued, I start to kind of going into like traditional pullover, just straight down. So if you guys want to muscle those in a few reps, you certainly can incorporate that. Obviously, just kind of choose what works for you. If you don't like these, if you prefer doing the face-up pullovers, that's certainly an option. Another easy sub that we, like I said, is kind of similar to this, is if you guys want to throw in the pull-up bar and throw in some pull-ups, that would be another option. All right, then to kind of give your arms a break, we're going into sit-ups. And honestly, I've maybe mentioned before, I wasn't really a big sit-up person, only till very recently. I actually did just order this sit-up pad, which maybe I'll review or talk about, or you'll see it in future videos. So I'll link that down below if you guys are curious. But I actually, got a sit-up pad because you guys probably know this, if you do sit-ups, that your tailbone starts to hurt. So I kind of had this towel there that I kind of threw underneath that. Like I said, I was not a big sit-up person, but I threw these in here, starting to like them a little bit more, especially doing them outside. Really basic. I got maximizing the weight vest. It actually works out really well as a nice little anchor. I put the back side of the weight vest on my toes. The other part of the weight vest is kind of on the ground. So it's a really solid anchor in that regard. Just did 20 repetitions. I'm sure we got some, sit-up Nazis that might say a certain, specific way of how to do them and what to focus in on. Maybe I'm doing them wrong. The point is, I'm just trying to focus on my abdominals. So whenever I do these sit-ups especially recently, I don't feel them at all in my hip flexors, like in the tops of my thighs at all. I feel it definitely targeted on my abdominals. And I feel like whatever you got to do that allows you to kind of complete this sit-up, and you got that tension felt right in your abdominals, then I think that's a good thing in my book. The biggest thing is just to not do sit-ups for the sake of doing sit-ups, and you're feeling it more in your hip flexors. Then I would say it'd be a negative, and I would adjust it and swapped out this exercise. Otherwise, I like doing these sit-ups. All right, then we're going to go back on the machine, then we're going to do some curls. I just said, basically pick any kind of curl you guys want to do. I think you guys will see here in the earlier rounds, I don't put the weight vest on. Towards the end, I start throwing that weight vest on to kind of make it a little bit harder. Just pick the curls that work for you. I kind of picked, I think 2 or 3 different options that I kind of swapped in and out with. So basically, find what works for you for that 20 repetitions. Most important thing that you're choosing in this exercise is find that curl that really just feels like it's, putting the most amount of tension in your biceps. So kind of simple as that. Even on this one, I know, just like with all these exercises, this could be hard to kind of bust out 20 repetitions. If that's kind of tough for you, just take a little mini break if you guys have to, or dial in repetitions. I would say for me, just take a little bit, kind of like a mini pause, a few seconds, 10 seconds, and finish off those curls. That's always an option. Then getting into tricep extensions, you notice I did not adjust the tower height, so this can be kind of tough for some people to kind of, maybe get tricep extensions without hurting the elbow and feeling like they're really going to isolate the triceps without, cheating. So Number of ways you can kind of do this, you'll notice in some rounds I started doing like kind of mini kind of pullovers to kind of, I wouldn't say cheap, but I guess maybe you can say that kind of helped myself go with some momentum into that tricep extension. So that's an option. Towards later rounds, I switch up my tricep extensions, kind of going on my back. And if you guys kind of can see here, I have my feet in the ground. And I should make a whole video talking about this, about how you can maximize your feet on kind of reducing and increasing tension. But just using my feet as some assistance to kind of deviate, take some stress off the incline without necessarily having to keep swapping the incline. So that worked out really well. And I think even in later rounds too, I still left the weight vest on there and that still was fine and didn't cause me any stress in my elbows. Then we're going to get up, go into that cross grip row. You guys know this is like my favorite, one of my favorite back exercises. So just getting into some angle you guys feel comfortable with and just doing that cross grip row, trying to dial in that tension on your back. Again, just like all these other rounds, some rounds I include the weight vest, sometimes I didn't. Totally up to you. One thing I'd say is that just be very careful. I think with rows, a lot of people, like I've said before, one of the things, you definitely can put your feet in the ground. That might feel a little bit easier, but you can always roll up a little bit higher. You can slow the tempo down if you wanted to. Just be careful that, if you let go here at this position that I'm at, that could be kind of a vulnerable position. So I know for a lot of people, if it feels kind of iffy, scary, don't get in some crazy position. Just put your feet in the ground and then just do your best you can. And then finally, just doing some body weight squats. I meant to kind of stress this and talk about this on some past videos, but I really do like how just a basic body weight squat feels. Just also with with a weight vest on. I feel like that's a nice adequate weight. It's really smooth. I can still get nice and low. I know for a lot of people, just doing squats in general kind of stresses their knees. And for most people, body weight squats feel pretty good. But as soon as they start adding like dumbbells or barbells, stuff gets a little iffy. And so I find that with actually loading the weight on like with a vest, you'll see it here in later rounds. I don't think I do it in the first round, but adding a weight vest on really does kind of increase a nice good amount of tension in the legs without stressing the joints. So that could be an option for you guys. You can do more or less here if you guys wanted to. Again, I just stuck to 20, wasn't too hard. Although I will say, you'll see a video coming up of this leg device thing that I picked up that I'll talk about. So I actually was working out on this the day before, so I was already kind of a little bit sore from doing these squats. All right, then as you guys can see here, I'm not saying to kind of shoot for what I did. This was actually way longer than I wanted to do, and it might have been because I was kind of fiddling around with some stuff and got a little bit distracted, but I really wasn't trying to take any rest periods. It took me about 45 minutes to do about 5 rounds. I think I got to like round 4, and I was about ready to be done. I'm like, well, I'll squeeze out one more. So that's what I did. I really don't know if I really burned that many calories. It seems like a lot, but either way, this was a really good workout, pretty mindless workout, really easy workout. This is one of those things that I will say that I probably could have done a few more rounds, honestly, after this. That the first 2 rounds, I was a little bit kind of tired, just kind of getting warmed up, I'd say. And then this last round, I actually felt, kind of really fresh. So take that as you will. It's a little bit longer than I kind of really planned, but you guys, like I said, just go by number of rounds, go by the time you guys have available. But that's really it, guys. Hopefully you guys like this workout. Again, if you guys want to see other workouts like this, or you guys just any feedback, any future workouts you guys do want to see, let me know. Any questions, comments, feedback, let me know, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you.